On the 5th of August, in 79 BC, Tullia was born to Cicero and his wife, Terentia, into a prominent Roman family, promising a life steeped in the political dynamics of the Republic. As Tullia grew, she became known for her intelligence and charm, traits admired in her father's household, where political discussion was a daily affair. At a young age, Tullia witnessed the tumultuous political landscape of Rome, influencing her worldview and understanding of power dynamics. Tullia's education was exceptional for a woman of her time. Her father ensured she received a classical education, fostering her intellectual growth. At her father's side, Tullia absorbed lessons on rhetoric and oratory, skills which would be vital in navigating her own social spheres. In 58 BC, Tullia faced personal tragedy with the exile of her father, Cicero, leaving her to grapple with loss amidst political upheavals. During Cicero's exile, Tullia remained resilient, supporting her mother Terentia in managing their household and maintaining social ties. When Cicero returned to Rome in 57 BC, Tullia's joy was immense. They celebrated his return, marking a turning point in their lives. As Tullia matured, her marriage prospects became significant. Cicero sought alliances that would strengthen their family's political standing. Tullia married Gaius Calpurnius Piso Frugi in 54 BC, a union that was strategically made to align with influential families in Rome. Through her marriage, Tullia navigated the elite circles of Rome, conveying her father's political ideologies in social settings. Tullia bore 3 children, but her joys as a mother were often shadowed by the political machinations of Rome. In 45 BC, Tullia faced heartbreak as her marriage crumbled, marking a period of personal turmoil while political strife continued. Despite personal challenges, Tullia remained devoted to her father, often seeking his counsel during turbulent times in her life. Following Cicero's assassination in 43 BC, Tullia's grief deepened, and her life would never be the same as she mourned her father's legacy. Tullia's influence extended through her writings, which reflected her views on Roman society and the roles of women. Through her voice and writings, Tullia emerged as a significant figure in the public narrative, advocating for women's visibility in Roman politics. With each letter and public statement, Tullia worked to reshape the narrative around women's roles in the elite echelons of Roman life. Tullia's legacy would influence future generations of women, as they sought both power and recognition within patriarchal societies. As a child, Tullia was surrounded by the influence of her father Cicero, who often engaged her in discussions about philosophy and public affairs, nurturing her intellect. An atmosphere of political conversations and debates filled their home, fostering an early passion for rhetoric. As Tullia grew older, she became more involved in the political life of Rome, attending gatherings where her father's allies exchanged ideas. She learned to navigate the male-dominated sphere with grace, forming alliances that would serve her family well in turbulent times. The political landscape shifted dramatically, leading to Cicero's exile in 58 BC. Tullia, now a young woman, took charge of household matters, demonstrating remarkable leadership in maintaining her family's estate and legacy during a time of uncertainty. In 57 BC, Tullia joyfully welcomed her father's return from exile, a moment steeped in relief and celebration. This moment solidified their bond, and she regaled Cicero with tales of their family affairs and the political turmoil in Rome during his absence. Tullia's marriage to Gaius Calpurnius Piso Frugi in 54 BC was marked by political motivations more than romance. Despite her efforts to maintain a harmonious household, the pressures of political alliances strained their relationship, foreshadowing struggles ahead. As a mother, Tullia faced the challenges of raising 3 children amidst her faltering marriage and political chaos. Her commitment to nurturing her children was unwavering, reflecting the values of her upbringing, even as her personal life unraveled. By 45 BC, Tullia's marriage had reached a breaking point. Faced with personal turmoil and her father's declining influence in the tumultuous political landscape, she struggled to uphold the values instilled by Cicero while safeguarding her family's legacy. During Cicero's final years, Tullia remained a steadfast ally, seeking his counsel and sharing her thoughts on the changing political tide. Their conversations became a source of strength, intertwining their identities as public figures in their own right. The assassination of Cicero in 43 BC shattered Tullia's world. Overwhelmed by grief, she mourned not just the loss of her father, but the crushing weight of his legacy in a Rome steeped in chaos and fragmentation. In the aftermath of her father's death, Tullia found herself increasingly drawn to literature and philosophy, using these mediums to process her grief and articulate her thoughts on the role of women in society. Tullia's writings began circulating among the elite of Roman society, influencing discussions about women's roles in governance and public life, marking her as an early advocate for change in the patriarchal structure of Rome. As Tullia navigated her new reality, she became closely associated with powerful figures who valued her insights. Her relationships with influential men and women allowed her to wield a form of political influence atypical for women of her era. As political instability grew in Rome, Tullia's role evolved from a mere spectator to a participant in political life, as she advised her peers on navigating the challenges of their times, influencing decisions that helped shape the future of her city. With her growing influence, Tullia began to advocate for reforms aimed at securing women's rights in property ownership and education, challenging deeply rooted traditions and setting a precedent for future generations of women in Rome. In her final years, Tullia reflected on her life as both a daughter of a great leader and a powerful individual in her own right. Her experiences laid the groundwork for conversations around gender and power that would echo through the ages in Rome and beyond. On August 5, 79 BC, Tullia was born into the elite Roman family of Cicero and his wife Terentia, marking the beginning of a life intertwined with Rome's political saga. Growing up in a politically charged environment, Tullia absorbed her father's teachings on rhetoric and philosophy, demonstrating her promise early on as an astute thinker. The political turmoil during Cicero's exile in 58 BC forced Tullia to step into a managerial role, supporting her mother and becoming a backbone for the family. Tullia celebrated her father's return from exile in 57 BC, marking a triumphant moment for their family amid the shifting political landscapes of Rome. In 54 BC, Tullia married Gaius Calpurnius Piso Frugi, a union fraught with political motives, intertwining her family's fate with powerful Roman alliances. Despite the couple having 3 children, Tullia's marriage faced difficulties, exacerbated by the turbulent political environment of Rome. By 45 BC, personal turmoil escalated as Tullia and Gaius's marriage ended, marking a profound change in her life as she navigated her identity amidst chaos. Cicero's assassination in 43 BC deeply affected Tullia, driving her to express her grief through writing and reflecting on her father's teachings. In response to her father's death, Tullia began advocating for women's roles in Roman society, using her influence to challenge traditional boundaries. Tullia's writings gained recognition, highlighting the importance of women's visibility in governance, causing ripples in Roman thought on gender roles. Amidst political instability, Tullia transformed herself from a passive observer to an active participant, advocating for reforms in women's rights, education, and property ownership. Tullia's reflections on her identity evolved as she embraced both her lineage as Cicero's daughter and her role as an influential woman in Rome. Through her enduring spirit and advocacy, Tullia left a lasting legacy, inspiring future generations to fight for women's rights and participation in politics. Tullia's life trajectory mirrored the struggles and advancements of women in Rome, illustrating the complexities of gender roles in a patriarchal society. As historians reflect on her life, Tullia emerges as a symbol of resilience, intelligence, and the pursuit of equality for women throughout history. The story of Tullia continues to resonate, showcasing how one woman's voice can challenge societal norms and inspire change across generations. Through personal letters and historical documents, Tullia's perspectives provide valuable insights into the lives of women in ancient Rome, enriching our understanding of history. Tullia's impact can be seen in the continued advocacy for women and the recognition of their roles in history, ensuring that her voice echoes through time. Scholars today study Tullia's life as a pivotal moment in the evolution of women's rights, recognizing her contributions as foundational to modern discourse. As a pioneer for women's rights in a male-dominated society, Tullia's legacy inspires ongoing efforts to elevate women's voices across all fields. Ultimately, Tullia's life story exemplifies the complex interplay of love, loss, and advocacy, guiding future generations toward a more equitable society.